There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I see with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite. Yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Welcome to the house of love, the house of truth. Let me know what my sound is like because I am in a makeshift studio. Let's just take a deep breath. Aligning with the moment, recognizing this moment. Knowing, remembering, accepting, trusting, believing. Thank you, Jackie, for this sound notification that right this very moment is unique. It will never happen again. You can't repeat this moment. That moment is gone. Here's another moment. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking right now, it's happening now and it's creating the next moment. So let's just take a deep breath and drop into the uniqueness that is life, the uniqueness that is you. And as you take this deep breath, use it as a symbol to anchor in your uniqueness. Recognizing that, yes, each moment is unique. It will never be repeated. And that's what you represent. You represent that uniqueness. You cannot be repeated. You may look in the mirror and see, oh, that's the same face I saw yesterday. It really isn't. Because cells are dying, cells are rebirthed, are replenished. Things are happening to your skin that you don't know from day to day. But when you look at the years, you look at pictures like, oh my God, I'm bigger, I'm smaller, I'm this, I'm that. So every moment is unique. Embrace it. Accept it. Milk it. Because it's there for you to use. What's up, DJ? Last night a DJ changed my life. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to you wherever you are at this very moment in time. Thank you for tuning in into yourself first and then tuning in to Ade Presents, Being You the podcast. When you tune in, you listen to divine guidance. You listen to the great mystery. You listen to that thing, whatever you want to call it, that really has no name, but is known by many names. And as you listen, you make space in your mind, in your consciousness, in your heart for a transformation that wants to happen through and through you. It's called being intentional about your life. And when you're intentional, you can see life moving with you, guiding you, directing you. And even if you have all kind of stuff going on, if you have stuff going on, life's like, it's okay. It's okay. You just have to do something different. Even if it means you start the show late, it's okay. I am Ade, your transformational beingness artist. Welcome, welcome to Ade Presents Being You, the podcast, the journey back to yourself. Excuse me. Ian, nice to see you. Jackie's in the house. Baptiste Jean Baptiste. Nice to see you. Thank you all for being here. Those of you silent listeners, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Together, we're creating this. We're creating the beauty that's happening now. Whatever you leave with would be exactly what you made room for. So when you're for the transformation, you made room for a new way of seeing and a new way of being. That's what life is about. Every moment is unique. Set your intention. Drop into your core self, your true self, your higher self, to milk the moment. I want to invite you to like and share. Those of you who are watching on Facebook, and if you are, geez, and if you are on YouTube, I invite you to like, to share, and subscribe to my channel. I will definitely appreciate that. That's the way to grow that channel. Help me in growing it. And as you grow, I want you to always remember this affirmation. I am present. I am here. I am now. I am present. I am here. I am now. Don't just remember it. Say it for yourself. I am present. I am here. I am now. And you can even switch that around by saying, I am here. I am present. I am now. It's a grounding affirmation. It changes everything. It anchors you in the truth and allows you to see something different. This is season 4. Season 4? Yes, season 4, episode 20. Today's date is Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. And on being you is always an invitation. It's an invitation for you to be you. You can't be anything else but you. However, most of the things that we end up doing is because of what we've been told. We've been told what our parents told us what our name is. Say your name is, and you keep repeating it. You are this age, we keep repeating it. This is what you do as a child. We just took it all in, and then we lived from that. We lived from that mindset, that structure, that construct. We didn't challenge it. Why would they lie to us? They're our parents, so they're telling the truth. Sometimes down the line, we realize they didn't tell the whole story, or they told a different story. However, the journey of life is for you to redefine you to yourself. You redefine yourself to yourself so you can reintroduce yourself to yourself. Who are you? How do you see yourself? How do you see this thing called the world? How do you see yourself in the world? What role are you playing, and how do you see the world in you? It all matters. There's a lot going on, and we're shaking heads and we're saying, I have some friends and family members today. I noticed they had on their WhatsApp what they call DP, display photo, and it said Jesus. And I jokingly said to someone, I said, "What is this Jesus thing? What you expecting Jesus to come back today or something? Or you mean Jesus at the airport?" And most of the people who are doing it are Nigerians. So there's a shooting, a killing in Nigeria that happened. I think it was on Sunday. 50 people, and numbers keep rising, died. And they responded and said, well, we put in on our DP, display photo, because of what's happening in Nigeria. And they said that country needs intervention. And my response was like, the whole world needs intervention. So why are we calling on Jesus? Why are we calling on Buddha? Why are we calling on Muhammad? Why are we calling on the divine? Why are we calling on the angels, our ancestors? It is also important to know that as we call on the divine, we are the place where those that we are calling gets to represent and represent themselves. So that means we got to take action. That means we got to do things differently. That means we don't have to, but if you really want to see something different, you have to. You make a choice to be the answered prayer. If you want gun control to, some laws, then you have to be about that. So how do you be a gun control law where they're limiting who can buy a gun? Well, you look at what that represents. As far as I'm concerned, gun represents violence. Where are you contributing to violence on some level? Are you investing in movies? Are you investing in games for your children? That is violent. Are you thinking violent thought about others or yourself? A violent thought is, I'm not good enough. A violent thought is, I don't know how to forgive myself. I'm not worthy. That's a violent thought. So when we want violence to be eradicated in the world, we have to be what we're asking for. When we want the world to be more loving, more caring, we have to be more loving and caring. Because caring is, oh Lord, that's a whole different thinking caregiving. But anyway, caring will challenge you because you might be caring for somebody who doesn't receive what you're doing as caring. Or in your caring, you find that you have to pull on parts of you that you don't even know you have. You find yourself in situations that you're not used to. As I said, I'm not home, so I got my little makeup studio here. And they're just some things like, and I had to tell myself, let it go. You're not home. You just have to make this work. And in life, we're invited always to let it go and make this moment work because it is unique. I like that. Sila said, I'm just coming in, but this is on point. This goes along with something I was thinking about yesterday. One mind will listen to the same voice. But do you want to share what you were thinking about? Because it makes for a fuller experience when you share what you're going through, what you're thinking. Because if you're thinking it, somebody else is thinking it. You thought it, I said it. Somebody else may be thinking the same thought. And they may even think, oh my God, that's a crazy thought. Why would I think that? Oh, that's never possible. I don't think that could happen. Boy, I just think too big. But when you say it, when I speak it, and they hear it, like, wait a minute. You thought it, I said it, they put it into action. That's creation. We need each other. We are each other. That's why we need each other. Anyway, Rev D will be here real soon, and we are talking about the Governmental Trinity. We started that last month. Well, we didn't start it. Well, we did it last month, but just the way life was happening, Rev D wasn't able to be here for most of her time segment, and there was so much that we didn't get to talk about. And with all this going on in the world, people all in the name of religion, all in the name of God, all in the name of I'm right, all in the name of this is the way it should be, all in the name of we are the better country, we are the better sibling, we are the better parent, all of that, the things that we do to one another because we're trying to be right. We believe our perspective is the only way because we're right. Because if we're not right, we must be wrong. And how many people really want to stand up and say they're wrong? So instead of choosing to be right, choose to be happy. So with all that's going on, we got to shift our mindset. We got to shift the paradigm from trying to be right and being willing to even challenge ourselves. Like the thoughts and the beliefs that you hold, that you feel like in your core, you know that it's true. Maybe even ask yourself, what if it's not true? What if it's not the whole truth? What if there's something else to accept as truth? Most of the judgment and the criticism and the things that we do with one another is because sometimes we're not even taking enough time to interrogate ourselves. Life is a mystery. And when you take time to interrogate yourself, to ask deeper questions, you can strip your own belief system. What if you're wrong about everything that you believe is right? Don't do an intellectual thing. Just think about it. I believe if I work hard, I'll be successful. I believe you can work hard, but that doesn't mean you're going to be successful. Is that true? If you work hard, you're going to be successful. Is that true? It's the courage and the confidence and the trust and the willingness and the surrender to even challenge your own mindset. And when you challenge your own mindset, you actually make room for inspiration, for revelation. You make room for transformation. And then you find out whether there is a law that you want to be in effect, that you think leaders of the country, political leaders, community leaders, or maybe there's a way of being in the world. You're saying, all this war, why do people have, whatever it is, people blowing each other up in the name of religion, domestic abuse, gender bias. All of it is the same. Are we quick to say, oh, they just messed up? Something's wrong with them. They're going to hell. It's all the same. But when you're willing to interrogate yourself and see your own governmental trinity within yourself, or you represent your ancestors, you represent your stories in a new way. So, let me tell you, speaking about represent, that's such a beautiful segue. Oh my God, that was good, because I wasn't planning to do that. I'm here. I'm here for God and God only. So speaking of representing our ancestors, 2 dates, June 18th. Let me tell you about that first. June 18th, I am hosting a Representing Our Ancestors event. This is a grief ritual. The link is not ready now, but I'm going to work with that. There's some things I'm trying to figure out, and I won't even bother telling you about it because you'll be bored. But trustfully, that'll be resolved today. I'll have the link up, and this is an opportunity for us to come together as a community and grieve together and be there for one another. It doesn't matter if you're grieving over a loved one, you're grieving about a neighbor, you're grieving about a job that you resigned from, you're grieving about your pet, you're grieving about what's going on in the world. It doesn't matter what it is, grief is grief. And we heal in community It's easier when you're with others. When you're with yourself, sometimes your lower self will lie to you. And because you're feeling depressed, your energy is working against you. You believe your lower self, and your higher self, the part of you that's wise, is saying, not so, not so. But when you are not in community, sometimes you might forget that. But if you're in community, somebody might say something, share a thought that they're having. So, brief ritual, June 18th. Like I said, I'll have the link. Just check it on social media. I will post it on IG and everything, or social media. And then July 9th, I'm doing another one, the representing your ancestor. So there's representing our ancestor. So ancestors, what we're doing a collective work. Representing your ancestors is what's in the name. This is about you. This is about your connection to your ancestors. And how are they showing up? What is your name? What is the power? What is the medicine in your name that you need to pay attention to? Are you taking your name for granted, or you just, my name don't mean anything? Or have you gone through life, especially adult life, saying, I wish I can change my name. I wish I can. You can. You can. You can. Family member ain't gonna change. Some of them will. Some like, I don't know you about that. I've always known you as that. I don't know what you're talking about. But it's about you. It's about being you. Being you, representing you and representing you. So you get to represent your story in a whole new way. That's right. My dear sister, the lotus wise man, wise woman, Drea said, when we are not in alignment with love, we're subject to negativity. Yeah. Love is the harmonizer. Love is the one that brings it all together. And Sila, what are you laughing at? Let me see if I can read this. I need my glasses. I asked for it and you gave it to me. Actually, I can read it without my glasses, but it's just a lot easier. Stop fronting. Just let it go. I was thinking about myself and how we as women don't really know who or what we are. We are living our parents' version of us. Whew, girl, stop. Don't make me slap you in the name of Jesus. That's some truth right there. And we are living a life that's not our life. The highest power has set our true path. Hold on, let me read that again. The highest power has set our true, is that faith you mean? Or maybe that's path. Let's go with that. True path that's truly meant for us. Okay, path, yes. We just can't see it because we are lost within the fake shadows of us. We really need to look within ourselves and find the real us. That truth, there's so much in that truth, in that statement. There's so much truth in that statement. And I have a friend that would say, yes, and. And I just say, and. You know, it's definitely not just women. I think men as well. It's humanity. Because we've been living the life that we were told is our life. And the spirit, when we get on a conscious spiritual path, because we're always on a spiritual path, whether we know it or not, that's when we start to break things down and start to ask deeper questions. And I hear what you're saying, and I think life is a both and. It's not. I don't believe that we're all walking around not knowing who we are. And some things we do. We're very clear. And some things are like, I don't know. But here's the trick. That is the journey. That's the reason you're here. To redefine yourself, to write the story about you, to be you. So when you be you, you can tell people who you is. Who you is. This is who I is. I am one with the great I am. There is a path for us all. Yep. And what we can't see that is divinely ours is there. We feel it sometimes. We just don't trust it. So I love what you shared. And I think it's not just like one way. There's sometimes where we know what brings us joy, what brings us passion. However, some of the teachings of the past cause us to doubt our own feelings, cause us to doubt our own thoughts, our own intuition, where Being on purpose is something you got to discover what your purpose is. And until then, you will never be happy. What's my purpose? What's my purpose? It's like telling you, it's like somebody telling you, you gotta discover um, what it's like to be human. And we're like, what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be human? First of all, I have five senses. I got fingers, got legs, and we start just the answer already here. The answers are here. They're not somewhere else. They're not in the future. They're right here. So the thing to be aware of is when you're trying to figure out, why am I here? What's my purpose? First of all, the only thing you're here to do is to extend the love, as Dre was saying earlier. When you're not in love, you are in a place where you're in negativity. You're in a place of darkness. You're in a place of not knowing, which is nothing wrong there, because that's where God is. God is in the darkness. Ooh, I won't even talk about that. One of y'all ain't ready for that, and I don't want to cause a nosebleed. So when you're in the darkness, you're in God. When you don't know, you're in God. When you're very clear, you're in God. When you know, you're in God. So wherever you are, God is. Wherever you are, you're with God. So being willing to go into that place and allow the invisible to become visible through and as you changes you. And then you realize, oh my God, my purpose is to love. I knew that. And I love through cooking. I love through teaching. I love through speaking. I love through my art. I love through helping the community. You don't have to be on a stage. You don't need a podcast. If you want to, if you're led to do that, you can do that. But there's a scripture in the Bible that says your gift will make a way. Your gift, your unique way of expressing love. That's the gift. It's your unique way of expressing love. We'll find a way, we'll make a way for you. One day you find out that you could start your own internet radio station, and then you stop doing that, and then you realize, oh, I could do a podcast, and you find out this thing called StreamYard, and you're like, oh, this is nice, and then you decide to do one show with your friend, with your mentor, with your sister, with your midwife, and you hear during that broadcast, this is how you do your podcast from now on. It's like, really? On video? Oh my God, I used to record it. Your gift, your gift, your talent, your skills. God is orchestrated to always make a way. And you may be afraid and say, what if it doesn't turn out right? It always does. And you will know it when you trust in God, when you trust in the divine. The divine is your higher self. The divine is your connection to your ancestors. Let me see what Ananda wrote here. She said, thanks, Life Coach Ade, for the reminder about my connection to my ancestors and my name. You're very welcome. This is my life mission, and I am so grateful to be very clear. That's a whole thing about your gift will make a way, find a way. I'll do that another show. I think I've done it before anyway, but I may be talking about how I got to this place. Life is good, it's getting better. Life is in session. We're here to represent our ancestors. Let me just double check to see that Rev D is not trying to reach. Yes, she is. Okay, she's going to be here. She's on her way. Let me just let her know we're good. Okay. Oh, sugar and spice. Wait a minute. Oh, that's this. Okay, so she should be here in the next few minutes. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I feel Dress said, Asha said, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. And when you find yourself being afraid, choose again. Choose something different. Choose something different. And Sela said, true, I agree. When I was talking about, I'm feeling that when I said we're not just one way, she said, I agree. And it's true. We know the truth. One thing about communicating, speaking from a place of truth, what I've learned from me is it challenges you and it causes you to watch the words, because the words we've been given, the things that have been passed on to us, sometimes they're tricky. They don't mean what you mean. And sometimes we use our words carelessly, and you find that you're saying something. So that many times I might say, wait a minute, let me see. Now, let me say that differently. I mean, we can talk, well, the English language is an interesting language, which doesn't speak to your beingness sometimes. It's more about ownership. Like those of us with ethnic background connected to indigenous, well, truth, everybody really is connected to indigenous ancestry. Indigenous ancestry. We all are. Some people have just forgotten it. Some people don't know it. Some people don't claim it. But I know as a Nigerian man, a Yoruba man, our language, just the words, the statements, the things that are said, it's a story in the proverbs, in the names that we're given. Just by listening to the words, it tells a story and it links to something else and it gives you greater awareness. Almost like a parable, like an analogy. English language sometimes is like, I'm thinking of I want to eat. In English language, I want to go eat. So if you really think about it, I want to go and eat. You may maybe leave in your kitchen and go in the living room. I guess you are going, but you ain't really going nowhere if you're in the house or if you're eating. It's not the best example, but in my head it makes sense. And now I say it out loud. See, it's like, But in Nigeria, in Yoruba language, if you say I want to eat, that means I am about to eat. That's like speaking it now. Spanish language is that too. It's about saying what's here. Drea said, pure presence is what I call my secret place of the Most High consciousness, the pure presence. And sometimes when you're in that pure presence, thank you, Drea, because I'm feeling it right now. It makes me emotional. When you're in that pure presence, it doesn't even grab for anything. It's not trying to be anything. It's not trying to be love. It's not trying to be passionate. It's just is. And you can feel it. Sometimes it feels like excitement. Sometimes it feels like love. Sometimes it feels like joy. Sometimes it's just quiet. So quiet that you don't even know if you're thinking. And the minute you check to see or think you're not thinking, you interrupt it, but you're still in it. Because the minute you say, am I thinking? You're no longer in that place there where you weren't thinking. But that presence, the power in you is present. It is your presence. It is your pre-essence, your essence. When you're in that place, you tap into the wisdom of ages. You tap into the wisdom of your ancestors. You remember that you're part of something greater. You remember that, you're connected to history that people can't even tell. Some history people are afraid to tell because for whatever reason, they don't want you to know who you are. But when you know who you are, when you know like, wow, I got ancestors who lived on this planet and probably went through what I went through, what I'm going through right now. And they made it through. They made it through long enough to pass life onto me. And here I am today to carry forward. I don't have to commit to struggling. I can just carry the dream, the vision forward. And then the presence reminds you, breathe and enjoy this moment. Don't do it as an obligation. Show up as a representation of what is true, of what is real. I want to read this last comment, this comment for now, and then we're going to bring Rev D on. Thank you all for being here. Ashley said, yes, ownership, the English language, dominance. Language is used to establish status. Life would be different if we were more thoughtful and intentional with our words. Yes. And so I would even say what you're saying, or I would say for and with you that, yes, let's all be intentional with our words so that world will be different. We can. It's a choice we have now. Nothing's stopping us. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little bit about my mentor, my midwife, my sister, my friend. Woo! You guys are like flying high right now. You're getting ready to go to another galaxy. So tell your family members, if you need to find me, just take a deep breath. That's where I be. Because you're getting ready to take it to the next level, to the next galaxy. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Reverend Deborah L. Johnson is a lifelong social justice activist with a passion for healing social, political, and cultural divides. Founder of Inner Light Ministries, board member of the Pachamama Alliance, and founding member with Michael Bernard Beckwith of Agape International Spiritual Center. She is the author of The Sacred Yes and Your Deepest Intent, which is, if you have your deepest intent, go get it now, page 33, 31. We're going to be reading from there. You can find Rev D on her website is deborah.ljohnson.org, Deborah with an HL Johnson.org. You can find it on Facebook, Rev Deborah Johnson, and on Twitter and Facebook. Trust me, you can't mix it up. When you get there, when you find her, you would know. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, psychics and skeptics, we need those too because we're all part of it. Physical beings and God knows non-physical beings, we invite all of you to help me welcome my midwife, my sister, my friend, my mentor, Rev D. Ooh, Rev D looking fine.
How you doing today?
Woo, I am charged. I'm fired up.
I see you on fire.
I'm on fire, man. I'm ready buzzing. So I know I'm going to the next galaxy and I'm ready. I got my outfit on. Nothing. Well, I do have something on, but you know. How are you?
You know, I'm well. I'm doing better. I've been recovering from a little bout with COVID. But I'm on the uphill side now.
Yes. You've been upgraded. Went for upgrade.
So folks used to say, if I wake up on this side of the dirt, it's a good day.
It's a good day. It's a good day. Woo! So much I'm feeling right now as I see you. And I want to listen in for that. Okay. So before we go into your deepest intent, and we got enough time to cover everything we need to cover, there's a lot going on in America, in UK, in the world. There's celebration, there's transformation. There are things that we can't even celebrate. There's things we don't even want to think about. There's some things we don't even understand. And I know that you've been looking at all this going on right now. And you look at how people are responding to what's going on. You listen to some of people's conversations. If you were to talk to some of the things that people are having, where the conversation that people are having, which may be more from a disempowered point of view, or maybe not even sure, maybe confused, maybe doubting, maybe feeling like, what's the point? What would you say to us right now?
Take a breath.
I heard it. That's why I laughed. Yes.
No, really. I'm very serious. Like right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And take a breath.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The word inspiration, the root of the word inspire is breath.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Breath. And when we get tense and nervous, we stop breathing. We literally just like clench up like this. And then there's a whole chain of events that happen. And not to get all psychological about it, but the stress hormones, the amygdala down in the base part of the brain, our limbic brain, that's more like the reptilian, like the more primal kind of thing. It gets into fight, flight, and freeze. It's reactionary. It's always responding and it perceives anything out there that is unfamiliar as dangerous. Okay, so it's like our most primitive survival instincts. But when you kick into that too much, you literally lose access to your frontal lobe, to your creative, insightful, expansive, imaginative aspects. We all know this. When you're freaking out, you can't think. You make bad decisions, you make bad judgments under intense stress.
Yes.
Okay. So we have to de-stress ourselves, so to speak. But the de-stressing doesn't come from eliminating all of the stuff out there. The distressing comes from how we perceive the world and how we see things, and literally taking a breath. That's number one. I remember I was in doing prison outreach one time, and one of the first things that we teach when we go in there is this about taking a breath, particularly that idea of like count to 10. So I remember in one of the opening exercises, I had all the fellas, maybe like 50 guys, we're standing around in a circle. And the comment that I made was more rhetorical. I said something like, just imagine how different life would be if you just, instead of reacting all the time, just stopped and took 10 seconds to breathe. Before I got it out my mouth, this young brother to my left said, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, he got it.
And I think that just about said it all. Yes. I mean, he was so quick. He's like, that's easy. I wouldn't be here.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
10 seconds.
Yes. You were talking about this a moment ago. I call it the decolonizing of our minds, where we keep taking more and more stuff on. And I want to tell you now that the sense of disenfranchisement, the sense of overwhelm, the sense of feeling disempowered, the hopelessness, the apathy of it all, that is the point.
Right?
That's a strategy. That is a weapon.
Yes.
Being used against anything that is progressive and moving forward and breaking out of the limitations of the status quo and moving on to our greater yet to be. Don't be bamboozled. Don't fall for the okie doke. And I'm particularly hot about this at this moment because in the United States, California is having its primary elections. And we're a big state. We are a very big player. If California were a country, we'd be the 5th wealthiest country in the world, all by itself.
Wow.
Los Angeles alone, where I was born and raised, would be the 11th. That's the kind of clout. From Hollywood to the Silicon Valley it just goes on and on, the amount of influence. And all of our big positions are up. All of them. Governor, one of the senator seats, treasurer, insurance commission, like everything is up. And we've got this interesting thing. I'm not digressing. This connects. We have this interesting thing in California where we don't vote by party anymore, except for president. And we have what we call top 2. where whoever the top 2 people are for the primary, they go on. It could be the same party.
Mm.
And it's strategic because a lot of times people don't show up for the primary.
Mm.
So sure, their candidate, they know their candidate's going to be on the general election. You don't show up.
They don't show up.
Your person ain't going to be there. Exactly.
Yes. Mm.
Every vote is a prayer. And every prayer is a vote.
Mm. Mm.
Okay? So all of this, like boo-hooing out there, and I'm not saying that there's not stuff that's going on,
Mm-hmm.
but this is when you gotta up it up. In the United States, we're in the finals now for the NBA playoffs, for the basketball championships. When you're down, that's the time to step it up.
Yes. Yes.
That's the time to say, not on my watch. And everybody take a breath here at what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
But all of this backlash that we're experiencing, people trying to turn back the hands of time, trying to take away existing rights, trying to do something again, get something back. You know why they're doing that?
Why?
Because we already won.
Mm. Mm. They're trying to take it back. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Just let that sink in for a moment.
Yes. Yes.
We've already
Mm.
won.
Mm.
The world is already moving in the sustainable, just. It's already moving towards the inclusivity. It's already moving towards the greater participation. It's already moving towards the empowerment of women and LGBT people and immigrants. It's already moving in that direction. So the opposing forces are trying to slow it down. And we're so busy thinking they're controlling it. They ain't controlling it. They already lost it.
Ooh. Ooh. Mm. Mm.
And they know that they've lost it. They know that unless they rig it, rewire it, reschedule it, undo it, that old day of oppression, that old day of supremacy, that old day of inequality, baby, is gone.
Gone. It's gone.
It's just a very expensive funeral. And our job is to hospice out the old. Not just birth the new. You can't have new till you move from where you were old.
Yes.
I don't care what we're talking about. A house, to a relationship, to a job, to a government. So I'm just saying to everybody, stand in it. Stand in the progress. Stand in the win. Stand in it. Not on my watch.
That's right. Somebody may miss what you said, but it's so simple It's so right there that the brain is like, what you mean? They're taking, we already won. No, we haven't. Can you see what they're doing? But it's very subtle. And we actually do say it. We say they're trying to take us back, which means you're somewhere that you no longer were before, but they're trying to take you back there. So it's recognizing that we are standing on the truth, on the new already, and stand on that rather than what they're trying to do, because you're already done. It's already done. It's already done. They're trying to undo it, but you can't undo something that's been done.
That's what I'm talking about, my
Woo!
brother.
Woo! Lord.
We ain't going back in the closet.
Okay. Okay.
We ain't going back in the kitchen.
Mm, mm, mm.
We ain't going back to the cotton fields.
Teach.
It's not that kind of party.
It's not. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. And what I'm talking about is consciousness. I want you to hear.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about politics. I ain't talking about parties. Because the who's doing what when, that just flips. It's like the Democrats may be the progressives now, but they were the Southern Dixies. They were the home of Jim Crow. Not saying they held it exclusively, but all I'm saying is that nobody's got a monopoly like one way or another. What I'm talking about is consciousness. This is what you got to understand about change. I don't care whether you're talking about your personal life or you're talking about the political life. For every action, there is an equal and an opposite reaction. This is physics. Your joy comes up, depression goes down. Depression goes up, joy goes down. Okay? There's always this opposite and equal reaction. There's always a backlash. You can't have an Obama elected twice and then not have a Tea Party.
Right. Yes. Physics.
It's not going to happen. But the problem is that those of us that are moving towards progressive stuff don't know that. Those of us that are moving towards progressive stuff are colonized in our minds into thinking things are linear. Like progress is you go from here to there and then you just keep moving forward. No, nothing is linear. Everything is cyclical. Everything is spiral. Everything comes back. That's why we say history repeats itself, because that's the way that consciousness does. And when you don't prepare for that, you get caught off guard.
Yes.
We shouldn't be surprised. Why is anybody surprised? Not only is it the backlash, but this is our answered prayer. Just everybody breathe.
Right. Right. It's like, well, wait, Rev.
This is answered prayer. When you're trying to go someplace, anything unlike that has to come up to be healed.
Yes. Yes.
So if you're talking about justice, that means you want to take a look at all the injustice.
Yes.
You want to talk about unconditionally loving? Then you want to talk about all of the conditions that we put on loving.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So we call this stuff up to be healed. You don't get six-pack abs by drinking six-pack beer.
Tweet. I know that's right. That would be delusional.
You got to go to the gym and work out. Maybe we're in the gym.
Yes.
We're in the gym.
Keep pushing and breathing.
Do you want six-pack abs? or you want to sit there and look at the news with your 6-pack beer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if you want some abs, you got to put the beer down. You got to get out of the pity party
Mm-hmm.
and go work out.
Mm-hmm. Work it out.
We're talking heavy lifting here now.
Yes.
Heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I just say I'm in a galaxy that don't even have a name. I can't even tell you which galaxy. But I told you we go to the next galaxy. Ooh, Lord. Woo. Take a breath.
Take a breath. We're looking at how strategically people are trying to stack the deck to turn back the hands of time.
Mm.
It won't work. It can't work. There may be some minor setbacks here along the way. I'm not saying that it's ain't gonna get ugly. But what I am saying is that the universe, that mark of the moral universe, is long, but it bends towards justice. If you were to look in the United States, we have our elections for president every 4 years. The past 8, we're talking 30-something years, the popular vote has always been blue. We have this interesting thing in the United States, which is a hangover from our slave days and how we did representation, this thing called the Electoral College.
Yes.
So there's only 700-something people out of 300 million plus that actually choose
Crazy.
who the president is. But the popular vote, the reason why I say that is that then you understand why there are all of these repressive laws that are anti-voting, that are trying to keep people from the polls. Because it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
If the people go to the polls, we got a new world.
Okay.
If the people go to the polls and actually participate, it's a wrap. We are moving towards inclusion.
Yes. Yes.
We are moving towards justice. We are moving towards equity. We are moving towards fairness. That's the way that the tide is moving. You can't roll back the tide.
Life is always moving forward.
You can't roll back the tide. And I'm old enough now to know. Just wait. Gotta work it out. As the next generations come up, the stuff that were issues in my generation, the younger generation, they don't even have like a place to put it in their head.
Right. Yep.
So my niece that's now 27, this was like even 20-something years ago, when she was 4. She always went to these private schools, and I'm telling on her bougie background here, but it makes a point.
It's for the good of all.
It's for the good of all. So at 4, she's Rosa Parks. in the school play.
Mm, mm.
But she can't get it. She's not understanding this thing called the bus. And she keeps going, the plane? Because she never rode the bus. She knows the plane. Like the plane? No, the bus.
Oh, Lord.
So when she finally understands what a bus is, she asks the question, why didn't she get a car?
Seems simple. She can't. If they want to let her on a bus, get a car.
Go to the car.
Mm.
But all I'm saying is that
Yes.
when I talk to young people about segregation, they can't. There's no. When I say, you couldn't sit next to each other, you couldn't drink out the same water fountain, you couldn't go to the same schools, you couldn't. They just look at me like, and you could tell some of them were just like pure logistics. Like how do you do that? And why the hell would you?
Right.
Why the hell would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Gender fluidity.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on another trajectory. This starts nationalism. The young people today, they ain't feeling it. The world that they live in, they're in Chicago playing a video game with somebody in Shanghai.
Yes. Yes.
They all got the same phone and they all just, in a couple of minutes and WhatsApp, and they don't have like these loyalties to the nationality thing.
Yes.
And so I'm just saying this to say, don't freak out. Hold the vision. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep the eye on the prize. And we'll get there. Don't be distracted by everybody else's. Don't be bamboozled. Don't be hoodwinked.
Yeah, I'm so glad I asked you what I asked you, because I was feeling like there's no point, it wasn't time to jump into the book, and I kept feeling there was something I'm supposed to ask you. And for me, one of the things that I got from what you just shared now is you helped me get clear. Like, there's never been a time where there's been more conversations on podcasts, on TVs, anywhere, on TikTok, on IG, social media, about justice, equality, equity, gender. There's so much of it now. Like, it's everywhere. On YouTube, it's everywhere. So, of course, there's the opposing force. Of course. So it's not like, oh my God, look what they're doing. Well, we've been focusing on unconditional love, and anything that's unlike that is revealing itself. So it's like, yeah, of course. Like when we're cleaning out the room, it's messy, but once you start cleaning, you got more mess until there isn't.
But here's the thing. So everything is done now by these algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
So it just keeps bringing you back whatever you've been doing. So it keeps you in this loop.
Oh my God, yes.
This very narrow loop.
Echo chamber.
So what happens here is that when something is trending, you don't really know what the conversation is. All you know is the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're part of the trending of that subject matter, is it clear where you stand?
Right.
Okay. Is it clear
Mm.
by your prayers, by your memes, by your emails, by your Facebook posts, but like whatever this is that you do, can people see what you stand for,
Mhm.
not just what you stand against?
Yes. Yes.
See, because the universe is very exact. It is responding to whatever energy you're putting out there. So what I'm about to say now is political, but from a standpoint of consciousness. So in 2016, there was a campaign slogan that came out. And I am presuming that it was from the Hillary Clinton campaign, but I can't be absolutely sure. And you'll know why it is I can't be absolutely sure. The sign that you saw everywhere on people's front lawns and in window sills and whatnot said, "Love trumps hate."
Mhm.
And I thought
I
to
know that.
myself,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think this is the Clintons' campaign. And then I thought to myself, this is about the most dumbass thing I have ever seen.
I had similar thoughts.
You're
Yes.
going to put your opponent's name on your sign and don't talk about vote for you?
Yes.
Okay, listen, but everybody listen to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're doing?
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Do you have what you're fighting against all over your sign?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
When, when people look at your sign, do
Yes.
they know to vote for you?
Mm.
Do they know what you stand for?
Mm. Mm.
I remember this
Mm.
billboard I saw years ago. And I think it was like a community watch police campaign billboard thing. But the billboard said, "Get involved in crime."
Yeah, took me a minute. Wow.
The billboard said, "Get involved in crime." And I'm pretty sure that it was like the police department, telling you to get involved in community watch and all that. But I thought to
We
myself,
got it. We got it. Get involved with crime. That's a great idea. Let's spend money. Yes.
but I and I really want everybody to hear me.
Yes.
What are you trending?
Mm-hmm.
What are you putting out there? And are you adding more fuel to the fire you don't even want?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why I started off by saying, take a breath, redirect. Otherwise, you're like, the monster's coming, the monster's coming, the monster's coming, the monster's coming. Terry Cole Whitaker told the Reverend Terry Cole Whitaker told this joke once in their sermon, where this woman is being chased by this monster. And the monster's coming up on her and coming up on her, and she's running and running, and it's got one eye and it's dangling. And the woman trips and she falls in the woods, and she looks up at the monster and goes, "Oh no, 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 no. What are you gonna do to me?" And and the monster stops and says, I don't know, lady. It's your dream.
You tell me what's next.
It will be whatever we make it.
Yes.
It will be whatever we declare.
Yes.
It will be whatever we say that it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it will be.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say they got all the power, they're doing this and that, so be it. You have spoken your word.
Prayed your prayer.
You have prayed your prayer, and you have let them outfaith you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my spirit voice will say to me.
Mm-hmm.
Those that believe in war as the answer, believe in war as those that believe in guns as they really believe in guns as the answer. More than those of us that say we believe in peace, really believe that peace is the answer.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say, well, yeah, we believe in peace. Oh, but Putin, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we believe in peace. Oh, but the National Rifle Association, we believe, Sit your monkey mind down.
I didn't think mind, but I like that.
That was a good spirit.
That's a good one.
Spirit saved me on that one.
Because I still remember the one you went away with last week. You dropped. I was like, "Ooh, I don't want the government in." I was like, "Ooh, that's good."
Sit your monkey mind down.
That's a good one.
That's a tweet.
Okay. Ooh, Lord. Mm, 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 mm. So, Rev D. Right. As a host, I'm like, ooh, that section I wanted to read.
Do people have questions coming in?
That, Rev D, you know when you go into another galaxy, you got to stay focused and bzzz, so you don't have time to ask for water or some crackers or some peanut. You're just staying focused. So right now, folks are just like, "Oh my God, let me just stay present." Their mind, there's no room for questions. It's like, woo.
Okay, all right.
A friend of mine, I think I told you this. I have a friend, like when you say something, she said she needs a moment to think about it, and then you drop another one, and then she said, I'm just gonna have to listen to this all over again.
Yes. The power of rewind.
Yes.
Listen to it all over again.
Yes. Yes.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't leaving too many people behind. But if you just breathing, just keep breathing.
Yes. Yes. Your download, your expressions, your truth pulls people forward. And I mean that. And I, in the midst of truth, silence rises up. Stillness shows up. There's no need for questions. Like when we're loved, and we know we're loved. We're gonna say, "Why you love me? You sure you're gonna be loving something?" No, there's no room for all that. I believe that's what's happening.
I was just having this conversation with a young brother in town a couple of days ago. I took him out to dinner, and I said, "You know what? Truth is never new.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear the truth, you never feel like you learned something new.
Mm.
When the truth hits you, it's like plucking a guitar string inside.
Yes.
There's something that it's like it resonates, it reverberates.
Yes.
When you hit upon truth, there's more of a sense of remembrance, of recalling something that I forgot.
Yes.
It It may be a fresh revelation, but that fresh revelation hinges on something so basic and fundamental within your soul that you cannot dispute it. It's a reset.
Yes.
I often use the word recalibration. And that's what these moments do. That's my job in the world.
Yes.
I'm a prophet. That's my job.
Yes.
The prophet connects the dot. They're not fortune tellers, but they understand trajectories.
Yes.
That if you don't change course, you're going to wind up where you're headed.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like they can see where that path is going.
Yes.
And also the other way, like, what are the paths that got you to here? That through line, so to speak, which is why the old prophets used to try to get people to quote unquote repent, to turn around, because they could see, look, you're going in a direction you don't want to go in. It's like you don't want to go in. And somebody actually gave me a bumper sticker several years ago. I keep threatening to put it on my car. The bumper sticker says, "Wake the flock up." Wake the flock up.
Yes. And sit your monkey mind down. I think that's the other part that you've been waiting for.
There
So now
you go. Those two together. That's a winning combo. I can see, got to put the order in for those t-shirts now.
That's right. Speaking of putting my monkey mind down, because I'm like, I want to go to the Governmental Trinity in the book, and because it was hard even deciding which one to read. I was like, oh, but we're going on all this, so I was going to do section 8. But time-wise, and you know, the truth, the chord has already been struck in us. This is enough. This is enough. That distinction to take the attention from people who are trying to go back when there is no back to go to. It's enough to refocus us, to recognize and remember that we're part of the Trinity. We can govern our own lives the way we want to experience it. And it's in us. We are it. We are that place where the truth manifests itself rather than wait for others.
Yeah. And this is not a dualistic thing of us versus them. I want everybody to really get clear what I'm saying here. This is the way that it works. So it's going to work this way even inside of you. So that when you are ready to grow and let go of the old stuff and transform, there'll be that something within you that keeps trying to pull you back to the old ways of thinking, to the old ways of doing things. That this is the way that it works. Inside of you, outside of you, one-on-one, global politics. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as there's particularly that ego side of you that's in there, it wants what it knows. Whether it's good for it or not, it just wants the familiar. Yes. Because it sees safety in the familiar. So a battered woman would rather go back home and be battered. She knows that environment than to go to the unknown shelter. That's how we are in the whole society.
Yes.
that it isn't even so much. I really want you to hear me. The woman going back to the batterer isn't so much a vote against shelters. It's a vote for what she knows. So a lot of the stuff that's pushed back against us, a lot of it really isn't personal. I really got that in the marriage equality battles. It really wasn't so much like people were trying to keep gay folks from getting married. They were trying to preserve marriage as they knew it.
Yes.
They were trying to preserve their own marriages. Because if you're married too, what does that make mine? That's what was at stake. That's still what is at stake. That's why I say we've got to hospice out the old.
Yes.
Quit taking it all so personal. Like they out to get me. No, my progress has upended their world. My progress is putting them or my ego self or whatever in the grave. And that deserves a little bit of compassion.
Yes.
Even for your monkey mind.
Yes. 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 I don't even need to order dessert because I'm good. I thought I was getting cheesecake, but I'm good. I'm full. Thank you, FD.
You're welcome, my brother.
Thank you.
And to everybody out there, keep strong. Keep your eye on the prize.
Yes, yes. What do you want to trend? Be a part of that. FD, is anything
whose name is on your sign?
Right.
Put your name on your sign.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Anything you're up to? Any appearance? Any things that you're doing that you want listeners to know about?
All I would say to folks is stay tuned. Because over the next few months, I'm going to be rocking and rolling on some really good stuff. And you can follow us, particularly my Sunday service stuff, on our Inner Light Ministries YouTube. Every Sunday, 10:30 a.m. in Pacific time, in real time, our service goes on. But you know me, I'm always up to something. And there's some good stuff that's going to be coming up. Particularly some new stuff coming up around my series, the books you were wanting to read from today.
Oh, I'm gonna read to my heart content. That's all I got to say. Thank you, FD.
Thank you.
Dr. Naeem Akbar said, we don't make the change or the shift because of limited faith, evidence of the unseen. Yes. Peace and blessings, FD. I appreciate you. I love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Okay, bye-bye.
Woo. Check out my website, lifecoachade.com, lifecoachade.com. And show up. Show up, show out, trust. Make the shift from an expanded faith. That's right. I don't know what to say because there ain't nothing to say. I'm getting ready to release this conversation, and it's perfect because I really wanted to end early today. Got to be with my father and then heading back to Leicester tomorrow. Join me on Soul Fulfilling with Ricky Byers, 6 p.m. Eastern. No, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's 2 a.m. UK time on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, it is rickybyers.com. No, youtube.com/Ricky Byers. And then every Monday, I'm with my other friends, Cecile Armstrong and Christine Gautreaux, playing with possibilities. Don't forget to join me for Representing Your Ancestors. What's in the Name? July 9th. There's the link for that information is bit.ly/your ancestors. bit.ly/your ancestors. That's July 9th. And June 18th, which I don't have that link yet, but I should have it done in the next 24 hours. That's representing our ancestors. This is a grief ritual, where we grieve. Rev D was talking about hospicing the old that's happening, what's dying in us, what's dying in society, what's dying in the way we think and the way we used to think. As we make room for something else, and the something else is more of God, the more of the divine. I'm working with my mind to drop God. I mean, I'll still use it, but because it has so many connotations, some of the meaning that we've associated with that name God needs to die. And it is dying. The great I am works so well for me. The great mystery works for me. Life Coach Ade, lifecoachade.com, sign my mailing list. Thank you for being here. Thank you all. Please share the show. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/lifecoachade. I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. And I thank God for you, whether you're on IG or on Facebook or YouTube or however you got to this conversation. Take this consciousness, multiply it, and know that the best is yet to come. And it's happening now. I'm out of here. Peace and blessings. Be well and be you.
Be who you are. Let your light shine with so much more.